You talked about day one, after you guys had a couple receivers enter the portal. It's a new look room. What exactly did that first day look like when you guys got back here?
Just like Penn State guys out there playing football on day one. And I think the guys are excited to be here. I think the guys are working hard collectively as a group. And again, I'm just encouraged by the way we show up every day, prepared, ready to work, and like really playing for each other. I really am encouraged by that.
When you look back at this past season, do you feel like the position made strides from 2 years ago, or how would you evaluate that?
I'm only focused on 2025. So everything that's current and relevant is right now, and nothing in the past really has my attention.
Marques, what have you learned about this job and yourself, considering you're entering year 3 at Penn State?
I know this is a very passionate fan base. very, very, very passionate, and people speak candid and freely about Penn State football. And you got to understand that everybody's opinion is not going to be in your favor. And you just got to focus on the job and the task at hand. I'm very fortunate to coach a great group of guys, and I work with a great staff of guys, and that's all I focus on. I have learned that this is a very passionate fan base here at Penn State. So.
Did that catch you off guard at all?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But I mean, rightfully so. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I think that's what makes sports, very interesting. People have opinions now with social media, and I think people just speak on opinions based upon being passionate. So I think that's just part of it, but that's probably something that I would say. But I'm cool. I enjoy coaching the guys that I coach. I enjoy working with the guys that I work with, and I'm encouraged and excited about year 3. So
when you and the guys and the receivers see that kind of stuff, like, do you say, all right, let's put it aside, not even pay attention to it, or do you guys kind of use it as motivation? How do you approach it?
I think you got to compartmentalize it. At times you can use it for motivation at different parts of the year, and then during the season, or as you get closer to the season, like, that's something you really can't pay attention to, because we got a job to do, and it really doesn't matter what people's opinions are, whether good or bad, because Coach Kale came to us and talked last year, and he said something that I actually have in my office. He said, "Don't inhale, whether good or bad," and it's something that just stuck with me, because you can take bad things and inhale and it can destroy you, or you can take good things and inhale and it can destroy you, because it becomes too much of a high and you start thinking too highly of yourself. So just something that we focus on is just don't inhale. Just focus on the task at hand. People are going to talk regardless of whether you do good or bad. Don't inhale and just focus on the task at hand. So that's kind of something I took from him, that he came and spoke to the team. I think it's been really beneficial for us as a group as well.
What do you want from the room this year?
Man, I just want the group to have success. I want the guys to play hard. I want them to make plays. I want to be the reason why we win games, and I want them to have an enjoyable experience. I want those guys to feel great about representing Penn State football, and on the field and in the community. And that's just something that I selfishly want from those guys. That's something that'll really make me happy as a coach. So
James just mentioned a couple minutes ago, Tyseer, everyone sees him flashing last year. This year, he's got to go ahead and do it and be a guy on the field for you. What's the year 2 thing that a receiver has to learn to kind of get over that hump and be a contributor on an offense? What are the major things you need to coach him through that he can do that?
I think in year 2 for a lot of guys, it's just the fundamentals. The fundamentals become more important, and then being more detailed in the scheme. And once those 2 things match, everybody goes through a phase of first year where there's potential, like, oh, this guy can be this and be that. Now it's time for him to produce. So now this year coming up, he's got to produce. And then once he starts producing, everybody will start garnering attention and teams will start scheming for him. Then he's got to be able to perform. So this is the production stage for him. He's got to be able to take all those things we talked about last year and be able to produce, because we're counting on him. And then once that happens, then he's got to be able to perform in all settings and anytime, no matter who we play, no matter where we go. So that's the next progression for him, is being able to produce at a high level this upcoming season.
Do you and some of the returning guys in the room ever bring up the 0 receptions in the Orange Bowl and ever use it as a source of motivation? Not to let it happen to them.
If it ain't happening in 2025, we won't talk about it. So we don't live in the past.
When we spoke to Pat Kraft in the winter, he was asked about the transfer portal. Said, we know it's not a secret. We need receivers. We need help there.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? When he said that, do you agree with that sentiment?
I mean, we could always use help. So I think the objective is to be the best in the country at every position, and we're working to become that. And until we become that, then yes, we do need help at receiver. So we just got to keep building the room the right way, bringing in the right guys. And then when the opportunity presents, we just got to perform at a high level. So I don't disagree with that. I love the guys that we have, but the ultimate thing is to always constantly get better anyway. So that's nothing that the guys in the room would, shy away from or feel a certain way about hearing. Like that's recruiting. My job is to bring the best guys in the country and then replace the guys that are here, and their job is to make sure it doesn't happen. And if we build that year after year, we'll have a room full of guys that'll become elite and be the best group in the country. So I don't disagree.
What does the right guys mean? You said bring in the right guys. What does that mean to you from a player perspective, what you're looking for in a receiver?
You got to find guys who love football and guys who are tough. Excuse my language, just tough as shit. Like every day, like if we played football in the parking lot and you roll the football out and we were going to tackle, they wouldn't give a shit. They just line up and play. So we need guys like that, and then guys smart enough to be able to take the things that we're doing schematically and apply them on the field in a competitive setting against the best teams in the country. And when that happens, those are the right guys. And guys that show up every day ready to compete. Not just show up to practice because practice is practice, but show up with the intent to dominate. Like I almost said something I didn't want to say. Well, we're going to win. Like every rep that we take, every period. And then it just becomes a habit. It becomes a culture. And then it becomes a thing that you see on every Saturday. So when you talk about the right guys, I want guys that'll roll the football in the parking lot and play tackle.
How much did you see that in Kyron Hudson? I imagine both Devontae Ross and Kyron Hudson are guys that you saw that in, but just watching him on film, it seemed like he's a guy that really embodies that. Is that part of what drew you to him?
So far, I think so. I think that it draws us to a lot of the guys that we recruit, and I think that's just finding the right guys that have the talent, but just that thing that just drives them every day to be tough, to refuse to be outworked, to just every day show up ready to work and not complain and not bitch and moan. Just I'm here to work. I'm here to show up. I'm here to get better. And that's the kind of guys, when you say right guys, that's what we're talking about, those kind of guys.
How close are you to being that vision of that?
Every day we're getting closer. Every day we're getting closer. So I know what you want me to say, but every day we're just working to get closer. And I think everybody will see it when it happens. But that's the goal. And even when it becomes that, you got to continue to do that, because now you become the top and everybody's looking at you and you got to stay on top. So every day that's the same goal.
Going back to Tyseer, some guys it takes 3-4 years to make an impact, to build themselves up. But James, telling us that his time is now. Even as a redshirt freshman, to make an impact in this league for us. Why is his time now? Why is he on the precipice of this?
Shit, everybody's time is right now. Ain't got time to wait. We finished short last year, the ultimate goal, and we don't have time to wait to build to the next goal. Like this year is this year. Like this is it. So everybody's time is right now. And the more guys can realize that they got to go right now instead of waiting, then our team will be better, our group will be better. So coach is right. We need everything we need out of Tyseer right now, just like we need everything we need out of everybody in the group. So it's a heightened sense of urgency. Everybody's got to go right now. There's no waiting until a year from now, 6 months from now. Everybody else has got to be on fire, ready to go, show up, ready to work every day, and everybody's time is right now.
We got a first look at Peter Gonzalez since recovering from injury. What have you seen from him so far on the practice field, and what did you learn about him as he went through that process?
I mean, he's just taking steps each day. He's smart, he's tough. He's working through some things, but he loves football. And when the time is right, he'll rock and roll. And he's been a good teammate in the process. So he's just doing a really good job of fighting to get back. And he's done a hell of a job recovering and working out this season. And I think he'll be ready to go in 2025 for an opportunity to help the team. So I'm excited for him.
Has Kobe Howard surprised you at all in terms of his preparedness?
I wouldn't say surprised me, but it sticks out. Like, he's one of the first guys in the building. He's always asking to get coached. He's always sending notes. He's always got questions. He always wants to watch film. He just loves football. Like, he goes to bed thinking about football. He wakes up thinking about football. So I've been encouraged by his just willingness to want to be better and be the best. And so I'm excited for that young man, and I'm glad he's a part of our room. And he loves football. He loves football. So he comes from a good program too, So Coach Jones does a really good job at Chaminade, and he's really prepared when he got here. It was good to get him here early too.
On the flip side, Matt Otten looks really impressive. Where is he in his development from what you've seen of him so far?
He's a freshman just like Kobe. He's learning how to be on time to class. Weight room, study hall. Film, football. Like, there's a lot going on for a freshman, and as far as transitioning, from high school to college. But I think he's handling it pretty well. He's learning a lot about himself. He knows coming from a team where he did everything. You know, he was the best player on the team, and now he's honing in on just receiver. And I think as those fundamentals and skill sets start to catch up to his ability and strength in the weight room start to catch up, I think you're going to see a really special player. I'm biased because he's from the 757, maybe. But I'm excited for him. I think we got a really good group, and Lyric Samuel's another good one, too, in our class. So we got a good group of young guys. We got a good group of guys that were already here. And each day those guys are working their ass off to get better, and that's all we're going to focus on.
With Kobe, do you think he was looked at as a recruit, kind of under-recruited in some ways due to his injuries, and how do you evaluate him like that as a prospect?
I mean, I didn't. I saw him in person, and in the spring, a few times as I was out on the road recruiting, and you know what you're looking for, and when you see it, you see it. Again, like, he's another guy, like, roll the football in the parking lot, you want to play tackle, he don't give a shit. Like, he's just going to show up, he's going to play. And so those are the kind of guys you're looking for, and it was easy to see when you went to practice. Again, he comes from a really good program. So, he plays against great competition, national schedule, and it's easy to see, like, kid's a good football player, and he's tough, and he loves football. So that was an easy recruit.
Can you talk about Liam's role on the team now and his development since you've been here? He's kind of been the guy that's here every year with everything else, people coming and going.
He's old, man. He's been here for a long time.
I think he's 29 or 30 with a wife and mortgage.
Liam is necessary. Like, he is a great leader. He's a great example. He loves his team. He's selfless. He just shows up and works every day. And he takes the young guys underneath his wing on how to recover, how to rest, how to, put schedules together throughout the week. He's just very necessary, and I'm very grateful to be his coach. He does things the right way. I never have to worry about Liam. Like, I might get a call about somebody, but it's never going to be Liam. He just does things the right way, and he's probably one of the few people in my group that allows me to rest my head on my pillow at night. But, man, I'm really grateful I've got a chance to coach him. He's a great young man and a great ambassador for Penn State football. So.
And then on the field, what do you see for him next year?
He just got to continue to get better, just like everybody in the room. And I think he's driven by that. He's challenged by that. He's always in the office, always watching film, always asking questions. I think he's going to continue to work at certain things that we've talked about his game. And I think that when those things come to fruition this spring and this fall camp, I think it'll show dividend this upcoming season. So I'm encouraged by him and just the way he works and shows up every day. He's a constant professional.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.